So I wanted to jump on here real quick before we started our drawing today. And I just want to say thank you for hopping on early. I know we had a quick time change. Originally, I do my art lessons at 2 p.m., but we moved it up to 1 p.m. today because I had a couple conflicting meetings with our distance learning today. And I also wanted to say thank you for following our charming first grade page. We actually are over 100 people following this page, which is amazing. I'm so glad that so many people are enjoying doing these videos with me. And I know that I love doing them with you as well. And I love when you guys post your pictures down below so I can check them out as well. So today we are going to be doing PUA from Moana. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to our screen so you guys can do it with me. All right, welcome. So when you hop on today, as always, go ahead and comment down below. Go ahead and say hi, and then we'll get started when we have a few people on here. So the supplies that you're gonna need today is I'm gonna be using a pencil to start, as always. Make sure you have a pencil that either has an eraser or have a separate eraser in sight, so you can go ahead and use that if you need it. Then we're also, I'm going to be using markers today, and I'll be using my watercolor pens. But as always, like I say, you can use any supplies that you have around the house. You can use crayons, color pencils, markers, watercolors, whatever you like. I hope that you guys are having a great day today. It's the beginning of a new week. And we will be drawing PUA from Moana today. And this might be our last Moana character. And then we're going to go ahead and switch to another theme. I know a lot of you are really enjoying doing characters. So as always, if you have any requests that you'd like us to draw for our art class, you can always comment down below and request which character you would like to do. All right, we'll go ahead and get started today. So the first thing we're going to be doing is drawing PUA's head. So let me go ahead and move my screen a little bit so you can see more of the whole picture. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and draw his head probably about that far down today. And looking at PUA, he's kind of full of rounded triangles. That's kind of his shape that he has. So we're gonna go ahead and do that with his head. We're gonna go ahead and draw kind of a soft rounded triangle. With his cheeks kind of being the corners of our rounded triangle here. All right, the next thing we're gonna do is actually his body, and his body is another rounded triangle. So it kind of comes out of the bottom of his head right here, about midway, and has that same exact shape. Like so. Hi, welcome. Hi, Cheryl. And then after we draw those two kind of rounded triangle shapes, we're gonna go ahead and add his ears. And again, like I said, he's kind of all triangular shapes. We're gonna go up to his head and we're gonna draw another triangle, kind of the same shape as his head. And come around and meet pretty much in the middle of his head. And then we're gonna do another one on the other side. And then again, meet in the middle of his head. And again, these are kind of just a rough sketch. We'll kind of change them up as need be. I'm gonna go ahead and start this ear just a little bit lower. And then go ahead and do that triangle shape. And then you kind of want to erase those sketch lines that you have. And bring this one down just a tad. Like so. And then I'm gonna go ahead and take my pencil and just make sure that the bottoms and the tops of my ears are level. All right, so that looks good. So now we kind of have his rough shape of his ears, his head, and his body. So we're gonna go ahead and draw in his legs. So for the bottom part of this triangle, his little legs kind of come out a little bit more rounded. And then he has his little toes at the bottom, like so. And we're gonna stop that shape just like that. And then go ahead and come to the other side and do that same shape. We're gonna go a little bit outside of that triangle that we drew and then kind of meet back up with his body. All right, next we're gonna do his two front legs. And his front legs are gonna come straight down at an angle there. And then they're gonna cross to make his little hooves. And then we have another angle coming down like so. Then we're gonna go ahead and do it from the other side. Do that same inner angle across, and then the outer ankle. So his two front feet are kind of almost meeting in the center right there. Then I'm going ahead and just going to draw a kind of rough sketch of where his hooves are going to be. So on his outer toes, they're more rounded. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a rounded mark. And then on the front, he has a very squared off toe. All right, next we're going to go ahead and add the details to his face. Hi, Aaron. Thinking of you. And we're gonna go ahead and draw his face in. So again, PUA is all rounded triangles. So the same thing goes for his nose. He has a very rounded triangle nose here. Make his cute little pig snout. And then his mouth just extends a little bit up on either side. And then we're gonna go ahead and add his eyes. Now his eyes are very round and they're kind of far set on the other side of on each side of his face. So I'm gonna go ahead and just round those out. Again, I'm gonna use my pencil and just kind of make sure that they're level. Kind of checking the size of them. And then I'm gonna go ahead and erase my sketch marks inside. If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to share it onto your timeline for more friends to come and enjoy the video with you. And then his pupils kind of come a little bit outside of the line. Like so. And then we're gonna go ahead and erase that middle line inside his pupil. And his eyes kind of stop just right before the pupil. So we're gonna go ahead and erase that line as well. He kind of just has an outside edge. And then we're gonna add his eyebrows. So he kind of only has one eyebrow that's visible, and then the other one kind of blends into his patch. So we're gonna go ahead and do his little eyebrow over here. And then he has a patch around this eye. That's gonna kind of come around like so. It's kind of a egg shape. And it comes really close to the beginning of this part of his eye. And then his eyebrow is right on top of this patch. That's why it's a little bit harder to see. All right, and then next we're actually going to erase this outside line of his face where his ear meets on both sides. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of finish out his eye patch. On his eyebrow. All right, then for his ear, he has quite, you can see a lot of the front of his ear. So we're gonna go ahead and go like this. They're kind of turned sideways. And then the same thing on this end. We're gonna curve it in and then kind of finish the rest of his face that way. And then I'm actually gonna add even more width to the inside of his ear here on both sides, just to make him even bigger, because that's kind of his most prominent feature, are those adorable ears. So you wanna make sure that they're nice and big. Then he has his little tuft of hair on top. So we're gonna go ahead, he has one single tuft, then he has a larger tuft, then it kind of splits off, like so. And then in this tuft, he has one of his little polka dot patches. Hi Richard, welcome, or I should say hi KK. Yes, KK, we changed it to 1 p.m. today. So if you just want to finish watching the live and then you can finish it later on your own when I post the replay, you can do that, okay? We'll be going at 2 tomorrow. We just had to go at 1 today. Then we're gonna go ahead and bring this line forward and this line. Then we're gonna go ahead and add his polka dots. There's another polka dot over here by his front leg. And then another one on this leg. All right, then we're gonna go ahead and just add a little bit of his background detail real quick, and then we will finish adding the rest of the details before we color. So he has a little shell over here. So we're kind of just doing a round line, 2 diagonal lines in, and then that bottom of that shell. Again, kind of that rounded triangle shape. That's kind of the shape of the day today, rounded triangle. And then we're gonna go ahead and block off. He has some water behind him. So we're kind of gonna do that horizon line. Then the water changes colors. So we're gonna go ahead and block off where that dark blue meets the light blue. Hi Maria, welcome. And then he has a cute little wave behind him. So we're gonna draw that shape. And then he has another wave coming over here by the shell. Like so. All right, then in the sky, we have a little bit of a green bit happening here. And it comes back out behind this ear. And then down. And that's kind of his background. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and just make sure we have all of our lines really drawn in and just fix any shaping that we need to do. So the first thing I notice is on this cheek, I do wanna pull out his bottom of his cheek just a little bit bigger. I'm gonna follow that shape across his body. Again, I'm gonna round out this face just a little bit bigger, and then erase my sketch lines so that I have a nice clean face line, like so. Then I'm gonna go ahead and check his nose. Now his nose, I can kind of bring down just a tad. So I'm gonna keep that rounded triangle shape, going a little bit sharper on the point of it, and just bringing it in a little bit. And then erasing that sketch line I did. And then since I moved it down a little bit, I'm gonna move his smile. like so. Then he has his 2 cute little nose holes, like so. Then I'm gonna go ahead and check his eyes, making sure I have a nice clean line. Then I'm gonna go the other eye and do the same thing, making sure I have that nice clean line. I'm gonna bring in the shape of this eye in a little bit as well. And then he has this little polka dot around his eye. With his eyebrow on top. All right, and then his ears look good. Polka dots, the top of his head. The top of this head can go in a little bit more this way. And then his other ear looks good with his polka dot. And he looks pretty set. The only thing I want to change is this body part right here. I'm gonna pull it out just a little bit so it looks like he's sitting. And I'm gonna go ahead and erase the top part of that arm and let that polka dot go all the way back, like so. All right, and there he is all drawn out. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna always use our lightest colors first. So our lightest color today is light pink. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that out. And I'm gonna color in the inside of his ears and his nose. And we will be doing a contest for this video today. And all you have to do is share the Charming First Grade art page on your newsfeed and then tag as many friends as you want. Each friend that you tag and each share that you do is an entry into the prize. And the prize is actually going to be winning this picture that we're doing today. And I will mail it to your address, and I'll throw in one extra little present in there as well. So again, to enter the giveaway, all you have to do is share this page on your timeline, and then you can tag as many friends as you like on this video, and each tag that you do and each share is an entry. So you can have this adorable little PUA at your house. And then the last thing is his nose. And I'm gonna go ahead and color over his nose hole since I will be coloring those in black later. So I don't have to worry about covering them up. I'm gonna go ahead and while I'm drawing with my pink, I'm just gonna overline the bottom of his nose just a little bit bigger than what I drew. And then the next color, I'm actually gonna use a purple. Hi Susan, welcome. And draw his little shell in. Now, as always, you don't always have to use the colors that I am using. You can change them up however you want. And then the next color that we're going to be doing is our lime green behind our little PUA here. And I don't know if these are mountains in the pictures. They look kind of like grassy mountains. I'm just following those mountains that I drew. When I'm getting up next to my picture, I'm making sure that I kind of color around the edges first, so they're nice and crisp and I don't accidentally get green into my drawing. It almost looks like that green mountain in the movie that kind of comes alive. And then we're going to go ahead and go to the other part of the mountain right behind this ear. And then come down. And the whole underneath part right here is that mountain. Like so. All right, then next is our very light blue. So we're gonna go ahead and take that one. It's kind of more like the blue that I have is a turquoise blue. And I'm gonna go ahead and just trace where I'm gonna color that in. And it's the whole middle section of this water. So I'm gonna make sure I go around PUA here and just trace that section out so I don't accidentally color where I'm not supposed to. And like I said, I'm using my watercolor brushes to color right now. So if you're wondering what material I'm using. And then I will be switching to my Tombow markers to outline. And I just got them off of Amazon. So if you're looking to where to purchase those, you can purchase them off of Amazon. Again, just coloring in that whole middle piece. And then if you're just joining us and you do want to do this picture today, I will be posting the replay when the live video is done. So you can join us then. But please feel free to stay and watch our little drawing complete itself. So now he's kind of sitting in the water, it looks like. So I'm gonna go ahead and just go around all my edges right here. Again, just making sure we don't accidentally color inside them. And I'm gonna change up the picture just a little bit. I'm actually gonna stop my water line about right here, and I'm gonna add some beach. So it kind of looks like he's sitting in the water right where the water meets the beach. And those little sections that I skipped are those dark blue waves that are in the middle. like so. All right, then I'm gonna go ahead and move to actually my sky. And in the picture, the sky is the same color as the water, but I'm actually gonna move to a even lighter blue for my sky, just to have it have a little bit more, I guess, distinction. So it doesn't look like he's just hanging out in the middle of water. So I'm gonna take my very light blue and just color in those patches of sky. Just going around that edge of my mountain, making sure I have a really clean line so I don't have any white in between. And then I'm actually going to trace the rest of PUA and the mountain just so I can color that in a little bit easier. Like so. Then I'm gonna go ahead and go to my dark blue now. And I'm gonna color in the rest of my water. Like so. Then I'm gonna go ahead and trace those waves. Trace around my seashell. Like so. Then, like I said, I'm gonna change it up and kind of make it look like there is a beach in front of him. So I'm gonna take my brown and I'm gonna go ahead and go towards the bottom here and I'm gonna trace across where the water is. And I'm gonna go ahead and just do a dark brown, kind of like a dark beach. If you want a lighter beach, you could do like a tan, or you could do a yellow. Like so. Then I'm gonna go ahead and go in with my gray now for his little polka dots. And I'm gonna go a little bit outside of the lines that I drew, because in this particular picture that we have, they kind of outlined inside the colors, which I really liked, so I'll go ahead and emulate that. And then this whole little tuft of hair he has is gray. And then his polka dot here, actually the gray goes outside of his polka dot. Then he has his gray polka dot here. His other polka dot right here, where it kind of cuts a little bit outside of his polka dot line. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw the polka dot just a little bit smaller. And then for his feet, they're actually brown. So I'm gonna go ahead and go back in with my brown. And again, the color of his feet go a little bit inside his outline line. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw that. And his feet are just a little bit longer brown. And then same thing for his back foot. It's going to go a little bit outside of his drawn line. Like so. Then the fun part, oh, as I'm looking at him, I realized I missed his eye polka dot. So let me do that real quick. So his eye polka dot, again, kind of comes inside the line a little bit. All right, now my favorite part, outlining. So I'm gonna go ahead and outline with my watercolor marker today. And I'm gonna start with his head and bring those lines in. So all that I'm doing is I'm tracing all of his outside lines, and then if he has any detail lines, then I'll go through and outline those as well. And some of his lines are intentionally a little bit thicker, so I'm going to go ahead and do that as well. So as I'm tracing, I'm kind of moving my pen on its side to make a thicker line on some of PUA here. And I'm just going to do the tiniest thin line right there and have a break. Then on his ear, the polka dot dark line kind of comes inside that color. Same thing with this one. The polka dot line traces, but that color is outside of its line. Then for his eye, I'm going to go ahead and trace that whole outside line. Even the part that's a little bit white. And then his eyebrow is right here. So that's gonna have a little bit of a thicker line coming out and then following the edge of the eye. And then he has his other eyebrow. I'm gonna lower this eyebrow just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and trace around his body. Again, he has a really thick line on the outside of his body, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then trace his legs. Following those lines that we drew. And then when it gets to his foot, I'm actually going to draw his foot inside that brown. And then he has two little hooves, so we're going to draw that straight line down. I'm going to do the same thing on this one. His hoof line comes in, trace down, and then do the two lines. And again, this polka dot is a little bit outside of that brown line we drew. And following the edge of his foot. Coming in just a little bit inside that brown. Trace into his hooves. I'm going to go ahead and trace his eyes. And again, his eyes don't completely meet up with his iris. So we're going to leave a little bit of space. And then go ahead and draw those irises in. Pupils. They're kind of both. He's both his pupil and his iris are completely black. And then do the same thing on the other side. Trace that eye. Not completely meeting with that pupil again, or iris. And then color it in. I definitely think when you color in the eyes of a character, it really just all of a sudden makes that character come to life. Then we're going to go ahead and trace his little snout here. And then color in his nose holes. And then go ahead and make our little mouth marks on either side of him smiling. All right, then we're gonna go ahead and go back to our shell. Trace the outside of our shell. And then trace those lines that we drew. And then I'm going to go ahead and outline the rest of the background here. You do not have to do this. This is just personal preference. I personally think that it adds just a little bit more dimension when you outline everything in your picture. It kind of shows where things stop and start. It gives them a definitive edge. Hi Felicia, welcome. I'm gonna be posting the replay for this video in just a moment so the girls can do it for art today. All right, and then there is our PUA, guys. He turned out super cute. I really think that he is adorable. And then, yeah, if you guys create him yourself, I would absolutely love to see him. As always, don't forget to sign and date your artwork. Like I said, there is a contest today. So if you would like to win this picture and one extra surprise, go ahead and share my Charming First Grade page on your timeline, and also tag as many friends as you like on this video. Every tag and share that you do is a entry for the giveaway. I hope you really enjoyed drawing PUA with me today. I had fun with you guys as always. I can't wait to see your PUAs, so go ahead and post those as a photo comment down below. As always, it makes my little art teacher heart happy to see your artwork. And thanks again for joining me. Having a great day, guys. Bye.